Oscar Piastri isn't who you think he is. From building cars when he was 13 to having the most unique skill that literally scares every F1 driver, this is the untold truth about Oscar Piastri.
No friends, only enemies.
We all know Oscar never panics, never loses his cool, which makes everyone think Oscar's just naturally calm. Wrong. At 14, Oscar moved solo to England. No family, no safety net, just boarding school, independence, and racing.
Because I moved out of Australia when I was 14 and went to boarding school for 4 years. But when I first went there, it was like, oh shit, I'm going to boarding school. Like, this is the stuff of nightmares for a 13, 14-year-old kid.
Did you like boarding school?
I actually didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I think because I could get out every now and again to go racing.
While other kids were crying for their mums, Oscar was surviving completely alone. That's where his unbreakable calmness comes from. But turns out, calmness alone doesn't win races. You need something way more important flowing through your veins: engineering blood.
Andrea Stella has highlighted Piastri's capacity, talking about his ability to provide specific technical feedback, and this level of analytical precision allows exactly what engineers need to make the car faster. And while some drivers give somewhat more emotional feedback, Piastri remains clinical and focused on the solution.
See, Oscar's dad co-founded HP Tuners, both grandfathers mechanics, and as a teenager, Oscar was even rebuilding entire mini engines. So, while other kids played video games, this guy was understanding machines. Later, you'll see Oscar's unique skill, which scares all of his opponents. But first, you gotta know this about Oscar. As you might know, F1 is all about data. Numbers, graphs, telemetry, where to push, where to brake, etc. It's a game of micro gains. You save even a millisecond in your lap, you can jump from P15 to P6 just like that.
Telemetry data is crucial in Formula One.
So, it's crucial to be analytical, to understand the data, and then make moves accordingly. But luckily for Oscar, that thing was already sorted. And turns out, he's sort of a genius at this.
One of the most impressive things Oscar did the first time he worked with the team, he drove the simulator. Within less than 10 laps of our race drivers matching all the brake points, he just dialed all that in himself, no feedback, incredibly quickly. And he has that ability to figure all that stuff out himself.
Oscar is deeply analytical. We're talking immersed in car telemetry, setup tweaks, aerodynamics, all that technical stuff. He approaches every aspect of his job with an engineer's mindset. In fact, Oscar even said, subscribe. Just kidding. But here's where it gets weird. In a podcast, Oscar also admitted that racing has literally rewired his brain. He said he unconsciously walks in the racing line everywhere.
Not like consciously, but I'm pretty sure if I was walking somewhere and I had to go like around corners of buildings or something, if you looked at where I walked, it would probably be the racing line.
Come
It probably would be.
Come on!
I mean, this guy is so obsessed with optimal lines, he's treating supermarket aisles like Turn 1 at Monza. That's some racing. You know who else is so dedicated to racing? But speaking of weird habits, you gotta hear this secret ritual Oscar does during races.
Take me home, darling.
Oscar revealed that he sings softly during races. Yup, singing while going 300 kilometers per hour. But before you think he's just having fun in there, turns out there's a method to this madness. He's not singing to distract himself, he's singing to prevent overthinking. He said it helps him settle into a natural rhythm. Sometimes the best you drive is when you're not thinking about driving. But you know what's even more surprising? His lifestyle off track. In an interview, he revealed his Monte Carlo flat is surprisingly simple. Air fryer, speakers, posters still on the floor.
It's my driver room, it's where I sit, that's my suits.
Just so you know, his salary is about $20 million a year. I mean, this is a Formula One driver living like a college student. But here's the thing, don't let that calm, minimalist personality fool you, because turns out Oscar has the most important trait that very few drivers possess. Oscar is absolutely ruthless.
And Piastri going very brave. It's a dive bomb move. It's a change of lead. And Oscar Piastri's going all the way around the outside to take the lead.
Hamilton, Verstappen, Schumacher, Senna. You know what's common between these legends? They're all ruthless racers.
There goes Hamilton again, down the inside, late under braking, locks off and extremely sharp, and there's a bit of bodywork flies off the Ferrari. Verstappen's ahead of Raikkonen. Which way is he going to go? Oh, Verstappen cut him off.
Whether it's impossible strategies or brutal overtakes, these drivers have done it all, because the only thing they care about is winning. And turns out, that's exactly how Oscar is.
And Piastri going very brave to a dirty, dusty part of the racetrack to make the move.
But here's where things get really interesting about Oscar's ruthless side. See, most drivers talk about being aggressive, but Oscar, he proves it when it matters most. Take his overtake on Hamilton. This is a 7-time world champion we're talking about, a legend who's seen every trick in the book. But Oscar, he didn't care about any of that.
Oscar Piastri got past Lewis Hamilton on the last lap, and this is how he did it, going all the way around the outside. What a move!
He made moves that were so bold, even veteran commentators were shocked.
Wow. That is commitment, and that is no respect for a 7-time world champion.
Even though this was just for P9, he knew this wasn't just racing. This was a statement. He wanted to showcase that he's ready for the challenge. But if you think that was ruthless, wait till you hear what he did to his own teammate.
And Oscar Piastri's going all the way around the outside to take the lead with a bold and brilliant move.
This wasn't just any race. This was the race where Lando was desperately fighting for the championship, and that too against Verstappen. So every point mattered. Every P1 position was needed, as the fight was incredibly close. And yet, even after all that, Oscar didn't hold back one bit. He overtook Lando in the most brutal manner possible, like Lando was just another driver on track.
I can't believe what I've just seen.
That was extraordinary from Piastri on his teammate, round the outside, low downforce, low grip, and he's into the race lead.
Someone even said Oscar doesn't care about Lando's championship chances. And you know what? They might be absolutely right.
Just because I'm calm doesn't mean that I'm not ruthless.
That's the mentality of a true champion. No emotions, no friendships, just pure, calculated winning.
Who do you hang out with? Which other drive? No friends, only enemies.
This is exactly what separates legends like Hamilton, Schumacher, Verstappen from everyone else. They don't see teammates or friends on track, they see obstacles to victory. And clearly Oscar has that same DNA. But guys, here's where things get even crazier. This competitive edge doesn't just disappear when he steps out of the car. Oscar's everyday life is basically one big competition.
You have to earn your respect, and I feel like that's something that I've done and try to race people hard but fair. Yeah, I definitely think I'm ruthless enough.
He admits that when he's walking around, his race mindset literally kicks in during the most random moments. Whether it's sprinting at red lights because he can't stand being behind anyone, or overtaking shoppers in supermarket aisles because he found the optimal racing line through the grocery store. I mean, this guy treats a trip to buy milk like it's the US Grand Prix. Clearly, this isn't just a job for Oscar. This is who he is. Racing has completely rewired his brain. Even when he's supposed to be relaxing, he's still competing, still using that ruthless skill to look for that extra tenth of a second, even if it's just getting to the checkout line faster. Now that's the mentality that creates legends. And speaking of legends, Oscar has already achieved something that puts him in incredible historical company. He became the first driver to win 3 consecutive races for McLaren since 1998.
Oscar Piastri wins the Bahrain Grand Prix for just his 4th win in Formula One. Oscar Piastri wins the Saudi Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri wins the Miami Grand Prix. 3 Grand Prix victories in a row.
To put that in perspective, that's when legends like Hakkinen were dominating the sport.
Mika, how does it feel to be world champion?
I don't know where to start to tell my feelings.
For 24 plus years, no McLaren driver had managed to achieve this feat. Multiple drivers tried, multiple drivers failed. But Oscar, he made it look easy.
No dramas for Oscar Piastri, who wins his 5th Grand Prix of the year.
Man, that's some serious company to be in. And the crazy part, he's just getting started. From a 14-year-old kid surviving alone in England to an engineering genius who sings his way to victory. This is why Oscar Piastri is way more scary than anyone realizes. But you know what was not only scary, but also downright embarrassing? F1 drivers humiliating their opponents. Like when one driver started fighting his opponent in the middle of the race. Or the time when an F1 champ collided into his rival on purpose. And I know you want to know more about this, so just click this video right here.